Pretty smooth.
Back to the double neck, not those doubles. And we're basically gonna go through and do all the work on these necks. And 6 or 12, you're poison. This is a test.
I always go for the bigger one.
Oh boy, okay. All right. So, very first thing we wanna do is we wanna make sure that that neck is level as we have it. And so use our fret leveling tool. This is a little one by I lose or whatever. There's a million versions of these out here. They're about 20 bucks. Easiest thing to get. Teeth down, and the thing is you're looking underneath to make sure all those little teeth engage the wood, and you don't have any kind of a, no windows through it. You don't have a bow, you don't have a dip. If you do, slightly adjust your truss rod until it's straight, because what you want to do is you want to start out with the wood being level. Right now we're not worried about the frets being level, it's just the wood. Look level?
Looks level.
Okay, I think we did a pretty good job messing with this before, so I think we got it nice and level. All right, very next thing now to do is to grab a fret rocker, and we'll start going through the frets and look for anything that is sitting up high. And one of the most important things about fret rocking is you don't just rock the top. You go all the way from side to side. Oh yeah, sorry about the squeak. And so you check here, you check here, you check here. It only mark where it's high. So if it's only high on one end of the fret, only mark it. And we use Sharpies are good for this because it'll come off with sandpaper, but also don't hit the wood like I actually did there. Alcohol will take that out though. So I'll get that out when I go to clean the fretboard out. Yeah, try not to make it squeak too much.
That grades my teeth. Ooh, we a little high right here. I said we.
Yeah, right there, okay. Yep, yeah, definitely.
Good everywhere else.
Just hiding that one end, okay. Oh, that Sharpie going dry on us?
Yeah, it is.
No,
I can still see where it marked.
All right, so it's a really bad one.
You want me to remark it with a Sharpie?
No, I can see it. So some of these, when they're up really high, and this is only really true so much for what I call kit necks. I think it's all the shipping and stuff. Some of the frets, when it come high, pop up a little bit. So what I do is if I got something that's just a little bit on one side or the other, in the middle maybe, I just go through, I give it a light tap, block of wood, a little hammer, and I see if it makes any difference when I rock it, because sometimes it will. You want to use, of course, soft wood, so that way you don't mark up your fret instead of a, hard piece of metal. Don't use a metal punch for this.
No sparking allowed.
Okay, re-rock it when you're done there. I thought you were, yeah.
Oh, there's a couple more on this side. I want to give it a quick
might as well
tap.
give it a tap. Give it a good little left tap.
Got my hands on the hammer. Took off my Sharpie.
Cool. All right. So, you recording over here? Yeah. Now we're recording over here. All right. So this little gadget is basically a fret crowning file. I'm just kind of showing it up. So it's got different sizes. It's made for a couple different reasons. One, if you got to really do a lot of shaping on your fret after some sanding, or you can kind of use it to take off some of the high spots on the thinner one. So let's go for the thinnest one, and you just kind of rub it over a little bit, and that keeps the crown shape, but it brings it down, evenly all around. And then just do enough where you think you've knocked out the area you blackened, and just keep re-rocking it till it's there. If the crowning file doesn't seem to do it for you, sandpaper actually works pretty well going in there by hand, and just that kind of business to bring down a spot too, if you don't have a crowning file. And if you're worried about scuffing up your fretboard with a tool, you can always just tape it down on both sides. That helps too. Or use a guard like that. Sometimes a guard doesn't really work for that business, it gets in the way. And that, of course, helps preserve that roundness.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, just re-rock it and see if that took care of it.
Good.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Looks a lot better. Yeah, looking better already. If you get a decent neck from a kit, you don't really have to do a whole lot of work. It's just a little bit of tiny dialing in. It's when you get one that's questionable where you've got almost surgery. I think we got pretty lucky with these necks from this kit. They don't really need a whole lot of love. Led Zeppelin reference, double neck, wrong song, but you know. It'd have been a real heartbreaker. Oh, come on, Led Zeppelin dad jokes, come on.
Yeah. You were waiting to lay those ones on us.
No, I wasn't. That was extemporaneous, completely. Not planned at all. Wasn't written out anywhere on my phone.
You were like, that's a good one. Nerd.
That's one of those, they call them those high ideas. You go, oh man, that's a great one. I gotta write that down.
I don't want to forget about this. Did you want to double check or are we good?
No, your hand rocking them is better than mine because I actually rocked over those and I couldn't tell the difference, but I wasn't awake yet, so not bad.
I have more nimble fingers.
So once we've got basically everything, what we call somewhat level, what I like to do is I basically take a sanding block. I'll go through, I'll hit all the edges at about not quite a 45, about like that. We'll call it about a 35-degree angle, and just make sure all these areas along the top right here, anything is rough, because hitting it here with the sandpaper block is a lot easier than going through individually with the files to get that when you can kind of get it this way. So you can just kind of run down the edge. I kind of, like I said, I kind of hold it at about that angle. I'm showing everybody. 45 is too much. And I'm using, I believe that's a 600 grit sandpaper.
Yay.
Yeah. Then yeah, just flip it around and get the other side. You spank it.
That's what you do when you flip someone around. You give them a good tap on the ass. Good girl.
All right, so now that we're going to, the next thing I like to do is we're going to re-Sharpie the whole top down, just lightly across them. If you want to do this to make sure we don't accidentally hit the wood, to make your life a little easier.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, and then what we're going to do now is do an overall flattening with the beam.
Marked up again.
All right, so now we've got it marked, and the reason we're doing that is just so we can make sure that we've hit it evenly with the sanding beam. And it's just one of those. You can use smaller blocks if you need to, but I like getting as long as one as I can possibly get. That way it's a little more even. Hit that with the air hose too. It'll blow off some stuff. Let me...
Is it on?
Yeah, it's going to probably turn the compressor on for a second, but go ahead. Might as well clean it off. To pick those up. And I'm just basically doing an overall, hitting it all nice and even, and knowing where it's all off. It doesn't even need a whole lot more than that. You're basically just taking the top off to make sure the tops are even. That's really all you're doing.
Oh, you want me to finish it?
Yeah, go ahead. So just so you can kind of get a feel for it, you've done this a couple of, oh, do me a favor, don't start back here though in the nut. Stay away from the nut.
But I like the nut.
I know, but later, the nut's for later.
Okay.
There you go.
I had to put my hand on it so I remember.
Yeah.
Don't touch it.
Fly in here. So it actually really didn't look like we needed to do a whole lot to that.
Looking pretty good.
Yeah, so now let's basically come through. If anything got too flat from that step, if this won't get it to round back up a little bit, then come in with some sandpaper, and that's where we may want to have to tape a board edge down and go by hand and just kind of add a little bit of the round contour back. See where it's gotten on a couple of these just a little bit flatter from the sanding board. We're just going to round those kind of by hand with sandpaper. Now you can go through use different types of files for this. I tend to find for something I don't need to do a lot of work on and just kind of polish up, this type of sandpaper works better because I can just kind of come in here. And the fact that this is spongy, it forms the round for you.
Yeah.
The only thing I worry about with this is I want to make sure I don't hit the fretboards because I am using 320 and it will bring it down quick. It'll look a little rough at first, but then after we're done with all the polishing and everything at the end, all that'll come out. And generally for polishing, I'll just use that type of sandpaper now, and I'll just go up and grit to something to about 3,000 grit. And then I've got some 5,000 grit discs that I'll use to try to get it up to a really mirror polish. I do need to invest in what's called a fret rubber. It's basically a rubber eraser, but it's got a certain grit to it that's super high and it gives it a mirror polish. They're about 20 bucks for just what looks like a regular like art eraser size. Yeah, that's what they do. I haven't upgraded those yet. One day I will.
This is pretty warm.
Oh yeah, it's been sitting here just recording table stuff forever to make sure everybody can see the hand.
Okay.
All right, so we need to make ourselves a template so we can cut these headstocks. So I've already got the saw set up to the thickness of this. Go ahead and just run me one good strip. Still got all of our fingers and toes? Go nice and slow. Look at you.
Wait.
How do you like my mustache?
Nice.